Today we're reviewing the Open Care Insurance Services commercial to give you the facts behind how their final expense burial insurance products work so you can decide if doing business with them for your final expense and burial insurance needs really is a good idea. And if not, what steps you can take to find other options. My name is David Duford. I own BuyLifeInsuranceForBurial.com. We help Americans across the nation with their final expense and burial insurance needs. We shop the major carriers out there to find the best combination of price and coverage. If you'd like a free quote, try calling us at 888-626-0439. That's the best way to reach us. Or you can just request a quote on our website. You'll see it right when you get there at BuyLifeInsuranceForBurial.com. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Open Care Insurance Services TV spot and with an eye to look at the fine print to see if what they're saying really matches up to what my perspective and opinion is as a licensed agent working in the final expense burial insurance market.
Attention all seniors. You can now get up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, including your credit card debt.
So what this is saying, of course, is that there are life insurance policies that are available up to $50,000 that will cover things like your funeral expenses and other debt like credit cards. This is the norm of life insurance. Even though we call it things like final expense or burial insurance, it's just life insurance. And with life insurance, you can pay whatever you'd like to. You're dead. The beneficiary gets the money. It's their decision and discretion to do what they please with it. But the point is, this is the norm. There are plans up to $50,000, but it's not guaranteed. Again, saying up to is not saying it is 50. It's up to, so it could be anything less than that. So there's going to be some options, 50,000 and below, if you didn't want 50,000. And the fact that they're saying that there's no medical exam is the norm with final expense burial insurance. It's nothing that's too unique. Most of the major final expense burial insurance companies don't do medical exams. All you have to do is basically just answer some questions, have your prescriptions reviewed, and the companies don't go any further than that to render a decision.
With no medical exam, starting at less than $1 a day.
All right, so less than $1 a day. Does that mean you're going to pay, what's less than $1? 50 cents. So 50 cents a day times 30 days a month, 15 cents, 15 bucks a month. Does that mean that's exactly what you're going to pay? No. This is the floor of the deal. This is a common tactic that a lot of these commercials use, so don't get surprised if you call them up. You're probably not going to pay less than $1 a day. That's what it starts as low as $1 a day, okay? It's likely, in most cases, that you're going to pay more than that. What that amount is could be a lot of different options, but don't be surprised when you call in and what you thought they said, oh, it's $1 a day. It's not. It's started as low as $1 a day if you get like some small policy. So don't be surprised by that. Now, I've got the fine print down here at the bottom open for you here. It says these are not pre-need insurance contracts or agreements. All that's saying is this is a life insurance plan. These are called simplified issue whole life plans for short. The idea behind them is the rates never go up, the coverage never cancels, and if eligible, you may qualify for first day full natural coverage. Benefits are payable to the beneficiary or beneficiaries directed by the owner of the policy. That means if you die and you've named a beneficiary like your daughter, she gets the money. Typical stuff for life insurance. Forms and plan provisions may vary by state. So they're saying that depending on the state you're in, there may be some differences in policies. That's kind of the norm. Plan not available in all states. So there may be some states where you can't get these plans or discussing. And suicide and other limits may apply. So common question, what if I kill myself? Do I still get paid? Not within the first 2 years. You would get the money back on the policies is typically what happens. But if you're fully covered, and more on that in a minute, that's going to be a big issue a little bit later. And you kill yourself, you're not going to be fully covered. Your loved ones aren't. So and rates are effective as of 1/2021. So rates may have changed. Companies do change their products. So that's a fine print there. We like to stop and read the fine print, not skip over it, right? Because that's what a lot of these commercials just kind of zoom by and you don't have a chance to read it. So I want to make sure to point that out to you.
Oh, honey, your dad and I can't stop talking about this baby that's coming.
We've also been thinking a lot about our future. And no matter what, we want to make sure we aren't leaving you and your family with any of our debts.
Paid actor portrayals. This is all, paid people playing a role on a stage, just in case you're thought this was, a real life prospect or, somebody actually bought a policy. They're just being paid to act the part, okay?
Just last week, we read that the price of a funeral can be $8,000 or more.
This is 100% true. They cite down here the nfda.org numbers. I've used this a lot, and when we sit down with our clients over the phone or in person, and what I teach my agents to do is to show what the costs are. Actually, 8,000 is on the low side. Some parts of the country where the cost of living is lower, it may be in that range, but there's some parts of the country it's double. So that's just kind of, scratching the surface. And then you got inflation, which y'all know how inflation's been. If you've been to the grocery store lately, that's affecting the funeral business too. And we expect funeral costs to double in the next 15, 20 years. So it's important to have coverage in place. They're 100% right.
Wow. Jeff and I definitely would not have the money to pay for that.
And that's just a funeral. But you don't have to worry. We called them. With one phone call, we were eligible for $50,000 for our funeral and final expenses.
Now, again, they say eligible. I mean, they could get up to $50,000. They say this on the screen. The up to $50,000 for funeral and final expenses. So it could be less than that. The senior plan life insurance coverage, that's just kind of the name they give, what they do. It's could be a lot of different insurance carriers. Notice they're not naming any in particular. So some of these organizations shop around too and try to find you the best price. There's not a lot of specificity there, but again, just going to clarify some of this stuff that's being thrown on the screen.
Well, that's great, but don't you need to take a medical exam to qualify? You and Mom have some health issues.
No, there's no medical exam, and we were able to get coverage right over the phone.
Yeah, no medical exam. Again, the norm in the business of final expense burial insurance. No paperwork. The norm in the business, if you're conducting business over the phone, you can literally verbally sign the application. It's done over the phone. It's real simple. Again, nice and convenient. It's good they do it, but it's kind of the norm in the business.
And our rates can never be increased, our benefits can never be decreased, and our coverage can never be canceled.
Again, this is the norm for final expense. Notice what they're not saying about the coverage itself, more on that in a minute. But kind of looking at this again, for final expense burial insurance plans, again, nothing special. This is the norm. Rates never go up. Your benefits will never decrease, so there's not a lot of plans that go down in value over time. And your coverage cannot be canceled. All that means is that if something happens, something changes, like your health changes, you get too old, you cannot be canceled, except if you don't pay, which is normal. Again, all this is normal. None of this stuff is a surprise. This is how you want any of your plans that you're considering to have as a bare minimum.
I'm so glad you made that call.
Don't leave loved ones with your debt. Call 800-641-2706 now and see if you qualify for up to $50,000.
And again, fine print popping up here. Benefit amounts vary based on the carrier and choice of policy, may be capped at $25,000. So they're saying again, it may be less than $50,000 depending on the details. So they're again flashing that on the fine print.
For your funeral and other final expenses, starting at less than $1 a day. There's no medical exam, and you can be approved even if you have pre-existing health conditions. Your rates can never be increased, your benefits can never be decreased, and your coverage can never be canceled. There's no obligation. Call 800-641-2706 now. There's no paperwork, no hidden fees, and no waiting periods.
Check that fine print there. Here we go. There it is. Uh-oh. I found it. Do you see it on the screen here? Let me show you down here. I've been waiting for this as I'm going through this commercial so I can flash it, pause it, and then have a little talk about it. Always down in the fine print, isn't it? Benefit amounts vary based on the carrier and choice, and policy may be capped $25,000. That's the norm. But check out the new little fine print they put on here in some of their future parts of this commercial. Based on your current health conditions, prescribed medications, and in-hospital stays during the last 2 years.
And you can start coverage right over the phone, starting at less than $1 a day. Call 800-641-2706.
All right, now we got the big paragraph of fine print, and this is where we need to pay attention to. We're going to slow down and read this. So this is going to tell you about Open Care. If you're wondering, who are these people anyway? What do they do? How does it work? What are the details of the policy? Because a lot of this is what we call an advertising puffery. It's designed to get you excited. It's designed to really enhance the perceived value of the product that they're selling, but you always want to balance that with the fine print because that's like the facts, right? So let's read the fine print together. Open Care Insurance is not an insurance company. Open Care Insurance is an insurance agency. I believe they're out of Florida, if I last call correctly. Benefits and pricing in insurance companies vary by state. Again, that's okay. That's normal. Policies contain limitations, exclusions, termination provisions, and terms from keeping them in force. Again, if you don't pay your deal, you'll lose your policy, right? So that's, again, nothing out of the norm. Guaranteed issue whole life insurance provides for a limited graded death benefit or a return of premium during the first 2 years, varies by product, after which the death benefit remains level. So what they're saying there is that if you end up with their guaranteed acceptance policy, because of your health maybe not being the best it could be, is that you may be in a position to have a 2-year wait before you're fully covered. That's what that's saying for natural death, right? Now, why is that a problem? Because I don't know the likelihood when you call into this company if that's what you're going to get. You may be eligible for first day full natural death coverage elsewhere with another company, but are forced to take it from this company because they may, and I don't know for sure, have a limit of options available. This is why we do what we do at Buy Life Insurance and Burial. You may end up in a situation where you have a 2-year waiting period policy, but it's only because we've shopped the dozen plus other carriers we have and arrived at the conclusion that there's no other better options. So the point is, before you make a decision to buy, you really want to vet the agency. Do they have access to a lot of carriers? Do they have the ability to shop around and find you the best coverage? If they do, fantastic. If they don't, then maybe you should do a little more due diligence. Maybe before you pick up the phone and call whomever, you find one that does. You find a company like us at Buy Life Insurance or Burial that will shop and find you the best combination of price and coverage. Continuing. Guaranteed acceptance, whole life insurance is available to individuals between 50 and 80. We have plans, by the way, that go down to 40 to 49. We have what we call near guaranteed issue plans that go down to age 18 that just have a couple of questions. So if you're in that range and you're not in that age range, we can help you. 888-626-0439. You will receive only the benefit amount in the policy issued. So what they're saying there is like if you die in the first 2 years and you thought it was first day full coverage, but it's guaranteed acceptance, if you die in that first year, the policy states you'll get your money back plus 10% interest, which is great if that's all you're eligible for. But if you thought it was first day full coverage, or worse, if you could have qualified for first day full coverage elsewhere, but it wasn't offered to you, that's kind of an issue. Beneficiaries may use a death benefit for any purpose. That's normal. In order for the policy premiums and benefits to remain in effect, premiums must be paid on time. That's normal too. Rates and coverage amounts may depend on your individual qualifications, so your health, totally normal. Your call will be connected with a licensed life insurance agent with a third-party partner of Open Care Insurance. So that's, again, Open Care sounds like a company that's passing your call along to a licensed agent. Who they are, where they are in the country, their credentials or lack thereof, we're not for sure, except they're a licensed agent, who can offer you a guaranteed issue final expense life insurance plan from one or more contracted insurance carriers. So they're saying that you might just have access to just one based on what I'm reading here. That at least they'll have a guaranteed issue plan. So if you're calling in and you could qualify for first day full coverage elsewhere and you can't have access to that because the agent doesn't have it, could that be a problem for your loved ones if you die earlier than expected and aren't fully covered and when you could have been? Next thing. Benefit amounts vary based on carrier and choice. Policy may be capped at $25,000.
That's 800-641-2706. 800-641-2706.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Open Care Insurance Services commercial review. What have we learned? Number one, if you call this company, you might be in a situation where you get a guaranteed acceptance program. That number two may not fully cover you for natural and accidental death. It is a risk, potentially. You could get great coverage from them, but if you call in and you deal with an agent who has limited access to carriers compared to somebody like Buy Life Insurance for Burial, our company, you may not get the best combination of price and coverage. So here's the thing. Here's where we're going with this. If you're my mom or my dad, I would want you to shop with a broker. I want you to shop around and find the best combination of price and coverage because that's what you deserve. Because tomorrow isn't promised. Your good health today may be gone tomorrow. And the last thing I would want you as my mom or dad to do is leave that burden to me, because it may be a point in my life that I can't afford it, where the policy I thought that fully covered, you didn't. And worse yet, I could have gotten it if I only knew what the options are. So this is my plea to you. You need to look far beyond just a limitation of options when you're looking for life insurance. You need to deal with a broker. And that's exactly what we do at buylifeinsuranceorburial.com. It's super simple to get quotes. It's super easy. There's no obligation. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Go to call 888-626-0439. Write this down. Call us now. 888-626-0439. Rewind this video to get that number again. To get a free quote, we can do it in 5 to 10 minutes. Super simple. Or if you'd like to do it on your own, go to buylifeinsuranceorburial.com. Look for the quote form, put your information in. You'll see what you may qualify for by filling that form out. And if you're interested, you'll see how you can take next steps for us to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this call and enjoyed this video. And thank you so much. Bye.